Hello, welcome to Board Deck and Dice. Today I'm taking a look at Into the Black, which is a game that is relaunching on Kickstarter right now. Follow the description for the link. Into the Black is a space pirate game where you are boarding a ship that you're looking to loot and take control of. Well, maybe take control of, because there are various different primary goals and various different personal goals, including the opportunity for there to be a traitor on your crew. Let's have a look at a brief look at how it plays, because I've got the early prototype. I have read through the latest version of the rules and tried to apply them to my prototype. I've given you a general overview rather than a specific run through, and then I'll come back and tell you what I think. So I'm going to give you a quick overview of Into the Black. This is an early prototype of the first campaign prototype, so things aren't going to be exactly the same as they are in the campaign that is currently launched, but it will give you an idea how some of the things have changed, how they've improved. And that's one thing I want to say about Into the Black in this part of the video is this is a creator who listens to feedback and makes changes. So I'm working with the version 1 components but the version 2 rules. So any mistakes are mine, yeah, just see what you think. So the first thing is you are a group of space pirates boarding a ship to try and loot it. You have a bevy of characters to deal out randomly or to choose. Some player sequence cards, and one that you can use when you play 2 or 1 player as well. So it's mostly a cooperative game, but there are traitor elements. The player board tells you how many dice you get in combat and search, also your stats down there, and the layout of that has, I believe, changed. One interesting thing in this game is the use of reputation to get extra powers. You can earn and lose reputation to use extra powers, which allow you to re-roll dice, do better attacks, move and do stuff like that. I'm not entirely sure everything that's been added. When you get loot and weapons in this game, you can equip a wearable there, you can equip 2 weapons there, and you can equip gear off to the side. Again, the layout might not be exactly the same here. You will all have a primary goal. Now, to win, you need to achieve your primary goal and your personal goal. So the primary goal could be something like take the bridge, discover the bridge, defeat the bridge crew, and then it gives you some difficulty levels to do. So the primary goal has to be completed, as well as your personal goal. Now this is where some people might get traitors. No honour among thieves. Obviously the traitor doesn't care about the primary goal, and they can win with just theirs. And then there's some other goals as well. Hoarder, end the game with at least 4 collectible loot items. So that just gives you an idea of the type of stuff. We have 2 loot decks here. One is gear and one is valuables. So there's gemstones, no bonuses or penalties. Some valuables come with bonuses or penalties. And your gear, you get all sorts of things from body armour to jetpacks to plasma cutters to weapons, shots and melee weapons as well. All stuff that can help you out. We also have a morale and apprehension track, and the apprehension track can lead to game over, as well as the morale track. So both of these need to be taken into account. So players will take actions and resolve events. Then the ship will expand. You will conduct conduct. You will check the win and lose conditions, and then you'll play another round. So quite simple stuff. These dice are referred to on here. The white ones are the worst ones, yellows are slightly better. Then we've got the reds and the blacks, and they all are used for successes. This bag contains the enemy meeples. There's 3 different types that can be drawn, and each of the 3 types have different stats, so it's a bit more than just, you know, an enemy takes 1 hit and then dies. It's a bit more complicated than that. To start the game, you get the start tile and you will draw 3 corridors, and you will go 3 in every direction that you can. So in this case I can only go forwards, and then you will place rooms out at every door face down. So a room there a room there. You're not meant to look at them. Room there, room there. If there's an eye on it, it means that an enemy will spawn. And then when you open the door, then you start your players. You will move your speed thing. If you go into a room, you will flip it over, and there will be this symbol down here which tells you how many event cards you can draw. This usually goes from 1 to 3. These are all 1s, which is better than I fared on my solo playthrough. There's a 2 there, but these wouldn't be revealed until we're done. So you would turn over an event card and resolve it. So this one says artificial gravity failure. Immediately receive 1 damage token, or as you scramble to save yourself, you drop 2 loot items. While this event remains active, players may not perform a search action, and all attack dice are made with 1 less black die. So you have stuff in the room that affects you. There are ways of getting around events or removing an event card so it doesn't affect you forever, but some will stay. There's various tokens to keep track of stuff, and you will go on until you achieve the personal and primary goals. Now, the personal goals, there's a wedge here and a wedge of primary goals, and that is only going to get bigger with a Kickstarter that's successful, so I expect those to grow and give you a kind of spaceship crawl that's a little bit different because you have the traitor mechanic as well, so you'll always be questioning people. It's recommended that at 1 to 2 players you don't have a traitor, obviously at 1. And like I say, there's kind of an extra AI character you can control at 1 and 2 players. That is a really general overview. Like I say, some things might have changed. As I discover them, I will put them in the description down below. That is Into the Black. So Into the Black, the version I've played, is a game with an awful lot of potential. It needs a little bit of streamlining from what I've seen, and sometimes the event card draw feels a little too harsh for me. I would like to see that weighted more evenly in favour of the player. You know, thematically, you're not going to go into a room, have half the wall blow off because of damage to ship, and then a poisonous thing erupt, and then something else, which I had quite a lot when I had, I guess, an unlucky draw where I was having 3 event cards in each of the rooms I went to. I think it's quite a difficult game, but that is kind of offset by the fact that if one of your crew dies, you bring in another one, and you keep going until you've run out of the set amount of crew, which currently is 8. So you've got lives in that way, but you will come back as a different character. For me, personally, I prefer to stick with 1 character, though I understand why, especially in the current setup with the events, you may need to come back in and block off certain rooms and just not go in them. I like the combat, I like the different feel of the characters with the different dice they roll for different things. I like the nature of exploration as this ship kind of opens up before you. The rules for exploring sound more complicated than they are, but it's really satisfying to see that come out before you. I've mainly played this at lower player count, so I haven't experienced so much of the traitor mechanism, but that is always good in a game to bring that extra tension. Why have they gone off there and done that? Are they after something else other than our primary goal? I like the fact that there's a 2 levels of goals, the primary goal and your personal goal. I really like that. I think overall it just needs a bit of streamlining and a bit of work, which the developer has already shown they're willing to do in the relaunch. This isn't just a relaunch of the same game. The rules have been sharpened up. The version 2 rules still need another going over, and adding pictures, certainly with a game with this many components. But that will help massively, and I think it's one that's going to grow and evolve and change through a successful Kickstarter campaign. So if you're at all interested in a space crawl game with some unique flavour and twists, then I think you should get on board with this and have your say, have some input, and help craft what could be a really, really exciting game. Lots of potential with this one. Thanks very much for watching Board Deck and Dice. We will see you next time.